And we'd like to thank Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio. Hope you had a great weekend, and just really want to give a big thank you and shout out to Mid-State Asphalt and Taylor Walden for sponsoring and putting on an incredible family fun event that was totally free. This weekend, it was a blast. There were so many families and kids out there on Saturday. Rumsey Park having just, again, a great time. So thank you to Mid-State Asphalt and Taylor Walden for putting on that event. Again, you created a lot of great memories, so thank you. Well, this morning we're going to be talking about the Payson Book Festival, and this is the 9th Annual Payson Book Festival. So again, you talk about some great memories. I know the Payson Book Festival has grown over the years, and this year there'll be over 80 authors from all over the state of Arizona. This morning we'll be talking to a couple of the authors that will be there. First in the studio is Deborah Barber. Good morning, Deborah.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm great, thanks.
So, thank you so much for coming in. And on the phone is Jason Bradford. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey, thank you for calling in this morning and taking time to do this interview.
I appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. So, Deborah, start with you, where before the program we were talking a little bit, and this will be your first Payson Book Festival as an author, correct?
Right, as an author. I've been to the festival almost every year, walking around, looking at all the books, meeting authors. I've loved the festival, but yes, this is the first time as an author.
So, what inspired you, or has this been something like a lifelong dream to write a book, or did it just come about in recent years?
Well, I've been writing my whole life. I actually, in my drawers at home, I probably have 6 or 8 novels started, but I never finished one until last year.
Okay.
So yeah, I've always wanted to be, always have been a writer. Always wanted to get some published work out there.
So going to the Payson Book Festival, was that an inspiration that kind of pushed you over the edge?
It was, yes, because look at all these people who have done it, what I want to do. Here they are. I want to be there.
Gotcha. And what were there certain things that helped, or was there something that like really helped you actually finish your first book, from like getting help from some of the authors or things like that?
Well, talking to authors, you know, they're just people, just like all of us are, that they had a dream or they had a desire to write a book, and they just actually did it and finished it and published it, and then took the time to be there to share it with people. And so visiting with those authors and seeing they're no different than me, they can do it, I can do it. And then once I retired, I said, you know what, if you're going to do it, you better do it.
You better stop just adding to the collection of unfinished novels in your drawers, right? Get one done. Well, that is great. So you have one book right now, and what is the name of the book?
A Different Kind of Legacy.
Okay, and what is the book about?
It's about a young couple who both, excuse me, sorry, who both have conflict, trauma in their family backgrounds, and it ends up pulling them apart. And this is Christian fiction, and how God gets their attention and shows them that things can be different. It doesn't have to be that way. And it's also about the people who love them and have been faithful through the years in the small things, and how that faithfulness can make a big difference in the final outcome, especially in prayer.
Wow. So how long did it take you to write this book?
Well, that depends on how you look at it. Once I decided to write it and finish it, maybe 3 months, but it had been in process for a while.
Gotcha. So was this one of the novels that was in a drawer, or is this a fresh?
It's a different one. It's a different one, yeah. And it's not the novel I thought I was writing.
Okay.
So as I would write, the characters kind of took on their own idea of what was going to happen and told me what the story was.
Interesting. So, Jason, how long have you been writing now?
Well, the whole life, right?
Yeah.
Before we started school, and my teacher said I had a talent and everything, but I wouldn't go much beyond, writing other than school assignments. I did enjoy the creative writing projects, but I eventually, in college, I switched my major and minor around from business to English, and kind of didn't do much with it for a lot of years until probably about 2005. I decided, well, maybe I should do something with my degree. It's an English degree, so I wanted to write. So I wrote a book, long one. It was a historical fiction, action, adventure, kind of a pirate story. Pushed it out to my friends and family, and then I didn't do anything with it. I reached out to some literary agents, and they turned me down. I said, well, that's about it. I guess I'm going to go ahead and might as well get a master's. And absolutely have done nothing with that. But but then I said, let me give it another crack at it. I had this idea in mind probably since about 2017. And I started working on it then. And when I say working on it, a lot of times it's writers, we kind of get stuck. And I would I wrote like 3 chapters, and I would put it down and come back to it and just reread the chapters and edit those things again. I swear those first couple of chapters I must have read and edited, about 50 times. But finally I got into pushing it out, working on it more and more, and actually COVID helped because of all that downtime. So I said, let's be productive with it, and I was able to finish the book, and finally get it published in the end of 2022. But it did take me a long time to write this first book, because it's designed to be a 5-book series that kind of follows the epic tale as you go.
And something you mentioned that we do not hear often. COVID helped.
It did. It's certainly, you kind of seize one of those opportunities.
Yes.
And this past year, started in 2023, I started writing the sequel. And I had a hip surgery, and I was bedridden, and so once again I got a lot done. So it's making good use of the time when you have an excuse to not be productive.
Yes.
It's actually doing the reverse that can really help you out and push you forward towards achieving your goals.
That's great, and have to thinking about it now. It was a case, or is a case, where you hear people say, during COVID that forced them to spend more time together as a family, and just do different things that maybe they should have been focusing on, but were distracted by the world, and now gave them that opportunity. So that is good. And how is this your first time at the Payson Book Festival?
Yes, it is.
Wow, hey.
I'm excited. Both of us, right?
Yeah, both, I know.
I've never visited either. My experience with Payson, sadly, has been pretty much going up to visit my son, who goes to NAU. So,
gotcha.
Just kind of driving through. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting, and to hear that there's that many authors there, that's pretty exciting too. I like big events. My first event that I ever did was Phoenix Fan Fusion down in the Valley, and it's a massive. Not as many authors are there because there's so many other vendors, but I just like the energy of crowds, and as many people as come through that I get the chance to meet and talk to. That's kind of what I thrive off of.
Well, and again, Payson Book Festival is Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Mazatzal Hotel and Casino. And during the entire event, there's a kid zone, which is just great for the kids. They get to create their own book cover, write their own story, create their own poem. There's puppet shows. during the Kids Zone, and this is all sponsored by the Gila County Library District. So again, it's great for people of all ages. There are children's books, adult books, fantasy, fiction, nonfiction, just all of it. Historical, Western books, you name it. And what is so cool, I think, is all of the authors in attendance are from Arizona. So all Arizona authors, and you also get it's a great opportunity to talk to all of the authors. And even if you're not interested or thinking about writing books, it's great to be able to talk to them to learn more about them and their books. That's just a really cool part of the Payson Book Festival. Deborah, this will be fun because, like you said, you've been going every year now, and you've been on the other side of the table as a guest or just a attendee. What are you feeling now that you're going to be on the other side now as an author?
Well, I guess I don't quite agree with the big crowds are energy for me.
She's a little more shy, Jason.
Yes, so I am your typical introverted author, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm interested in speaking with people one-on-one and, just hearing their stories too.
Okay.
Because if you write stories, you're always hearing stories and you're interested in what other people have to say and their stories. So I am interested in talking to people. A little nervous, I have to admit.
Yeah.
But, I'll just go and have fun.
Yes. Now, with your book, where did you get the inspiration? Where do you like characters, scenes, the setting, all of that?
Well, it's obviously about legacy, a different kind of legacy. And as I finished my career in the public and then started thinking about being home and writing and family, and of course legacy is a big thing. And how can we actually make a difference? And one common theme that we all have as families is every family has struggles, conflicts. Everybody wants things to be better in the future for their families. And how can we make a difference? And so that was kind of the setting of, what is it going to take for things to be different in the future than they have been in the past? And so it's a story about, all of us, essentially, that how do we fix the things that we want to change? And of course, prayer is a powerful, effective, and that's basically the main theme of the book. And it was inspired because my grandfather was a prayer warrior, and the legacy that he left us with his life and his faithfulness that way.
Wow. So, and looking at the book, great cover. Like the cover.
Thank you.
And what would you say the most challenging part was for writing the book?
Sitting down to write.
Sitting down to write.
Yeah. So in my experience, once I sit down and put your hands on the keyboard and actually start writing, it's not hard. But the difficulty is making yourself sit down, because other writers have said too, you can find all kinds of excuses and everything else to do other than just actually sit down and do the work of it. And then, as Jason mentioned, many, many rewrites and edits and going back through it and second guessing yourself. But I had help from some people who read it for me and offered comments, and that was invaluable.
And it sounds like that's consistent with what you were saying, Jason, where COVID and hip surgery, those two events really made you or got you to that place to write.
Yeah, sometimes you need to be, especially with mine, it being a sci-fi, fiction, fantasy, action, adventure novel, I have to put my head in a whole other place. So you can't just sit down and just say I'm gonna write right now. I kind of have to put so many things aside and put my head into that new space and kind of. So you need the time and you need to devote it. But even when I have the time, sometimes I'm just like I'm not there. But to develop a kind of a schedule where you're kind of remanded to your bed or your house, you have less chance of finding an excuse although they're always there. Believe me, I need to organize my sock drawer or something like that comes up. It plagues all of us writers, but we just kind of have to push through and find that passion. It's the passion that drives us. I just recently had that conversation with my teenage son just the other day of how to get, go through the failures and the small defeats and overcome the obstacles. And I said, well, if you get into a career where it's a passion of yours, you'll be able to overcome those things because it's not the income that's driving you. It's your fulfillment through working to achieve your dream.
So, also looking at your book, it's science fiction. The artwork, do you do the artwork for the book?
I do the finding of people who are talented in that arena.
Okay. Gotcha. Because also looking on your website, yeah, looking on, you have the website, let me see, it's bradfordbooks.com, but then also, let me see, they have it listed on here, solarashes.com. And
Yes.
just going to the site and, it has a page of artwork and also just looking at the book, the cover and just on the website, there's just a lot of images as well that are really cool.
Well, the cover art, I contracted an artist. I found her on Fiverr, and she's just fantastic. And so she did my cover art. The other images that I have on the website, I've actually took out a subscription to Photor, which is an AI-based kind of art site. So I created those images of the characters based on putting it in and doing my own edits and kind of playing with that. The sad thing about AI is you can get an image and it produces one for you. You say, oh, okay, that's there, almost there. Let me put it in again, and it creates something completely different, or puts tails on people and gives them 6 hands. It's great. So it ain't quite there yet, So, but yeah. So it was nice to be able to get it to get those images done, just for people like me that like to kind of get a feel and see things as basically like as the author maybe seeing a certain character and how they look.
That's cool. Well, again, if you're just tuning in or just started watching our KRIM radio live stream, we're talking with authors Deborah Barber. She's a local Payson author, and Jason Bradford, who is down in the East Valley, and both of them will be at this year's 9th annual Payson Book Festival. That's Saturday, July 13th. From 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Mazatzal Hotel Casino. And again, this is a book festival for all ages. There will be books for children, adults, just on all different topics, all different types of books. And again, it's a wonderful opportunity for people to meet the authors, talk with the authors, learn more about the authors themselves and their books. And obviously there's an opportunity to buy their books, which is a great way to support local authors. All the authors are from Arizona, so that is really cool. And there's also a kid zone that is there at the casino, and this is all in the ballroom, not out on the by the games and everything. I was just thinking, wow, kid zone, hey, there you go, that would be a little interesting. But it's in the ballroom, and they actually have it set up to where you walk directly into the ballroom. So it's not like you have to go through the casino part of it, but you walk directly into the ballroom. The kids zone, kids can write their own stories, create their own book cover, write poems. They're doing puppet shows for the kids. And also they read stories to the kids. So basically there are volunteers there that when kids show up at the kids zone and want a story read to them, boom, volunteers can read to them. So just a lot of great activities. The story monster, I see pictures here in the past where even Clifford, the big red dog, showed up. So you just never know. And it's really cool that this will be the first Payson Book Festival for both of you. And Jason, now you said you've done other book festivals. Have you done a few, or quite a few? How many?
Well, probably about a dozen now.
Okay.
And just locally in the valley, Tempe, Apache Junction, a lot of times their libraries will hold little festivals, and I've attended those down in Queen Creek, and then getting into Barnes & Noble and doing book signings there. Barnes & Noble is really good for local authors, so I've been to several of those in the East Valley with Chandler and Gilbert and Tempe. So that's really good to kind of get there in a place where books are, so people are already in the mindset of looking at books, and then it's like, well, hey, let's meet the author here, and I kind of have a different kind of setup with an animatronic, and had kind of an alien animatronic there, and try to just draw attention to the spectacle of what my book's designed to be and grow into.
So an alien animatronic. You'll have that at this book festival, the Payson Book Festival?
Oh yeah. The only issue is when it's indoors, I can't attach the fog machine, so I get disappointed. But usually other people inside are complaining about that.
Yeah.
But I have fun with it. It gets the kids' attention too, and sometimes they get a little bit creeped out. But it's fun for everybody.
Wow. Oh, well, and people that haven't seen it before, they don't know any better. So, they're not like expecting the fog if they've never seen it. So,
Right.
So they're probably still pretty excited and think it's really cool. So, wow. So Deborah, we got to work on a setup for you. we have to maybe like a large angel
Something
or
like
something.
that.
Yeah, something celestial, or although I don't know if you want to draw that much attention to yourself.
Yeah, maybe not.
No. Oh, that's good. As you mentioned, Deborah, the inspiration for your book mainly from family, from your grandfather. Now, do you have you incorporated other family members like into the books, into characters, or did you draw inspiration from other family members?
I can't really say from other family members per se, but from life experiences, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because somebody asked me, okay, which character are you in the book?
Uh-huh.
And I had to say, oh, maybe a little bit of all of them, because it's based on life experience,
Mhm.
lessons learned.
Mhm.
And so are you these children who are this young couple that are in conflict, or are you the parents, or are you the mentor, or so a little bit of all of that.
Mm. And Jason, you mentioned your children. You have 3 children?
Yes.
And mentioned a teenage son. Do they get into the book writing at all, or make suggestions, or give you any ideas when it comes to characters?
Huge. My eldest son, he's 19 now.
Okay.
He'll read the first copy. We were just having a conversation about it just yesterday because I'm working on the second book and just bouncing ideas off of him. And even my youngest son, he's 9. he's too young to read it just because of the level. It's more of a teenage and adult book. But I released it on Audible, and at 9 years old, he listened to it on Audible, and he loved it. So he's a couple of my greatest fans, definitely my kids, and they give ideas into just plot elements and characters, and they fuel the excitement, so they push me forward into going to the events and to completing the series and the next books and stuff. So yes, and my biggest fan is of course my mom, and she's back on the East Coast, but we have all kinds of conversations. And I had dedicated this first book to her because she had always been into writing and wanted me to. When I was a kid, she called me Chad Spielberg, but she said I should make movies or whatever. But yeah, so it was fun. She was interested in me creating stories, and I realized I don't know anything about the movie making business. So Spielberg, it wasn't going to happen. So I went into the literature side of things, which is the foundation for every good movie, essentially. Anyway, so we write the books that become the movies and video games.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, very true. In fact, I was thinking of a movie, and I was going to ask you if you enjoyed or were a fan of Dune. I think it was recently Dune 2 coming out, and that book. Yes and no. Okay, so I do. This new series is great. When I was a kid, I did not like the movie. I was more of a Star Wars fan, like the original Star Wars, and that's the huge influence on this book and this series to be kind of that what they call a space opera, but it's really action driven, and Dune can be slow for me. So I need to. It's not a slow burn book, not a slow burn series. It jumps right into the action, and you get exposed to the world building, the characters through action. Because, like I said, I have teenagers, and I was the same way. I have to. We're all vying for that attention, and you need to grab it fast and hold it. So it needs to be kind of fast paced in my mind. Well, there you go. Well, again, talking about the upcoming Payson Book Festival, and wow, today is July 1st. So it is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, July 13th. It's the 9th Annual Payson Book Festival at the Mazatzal Hotel Casino. Doors open at 9 a.m. and it ends at 2:30 p.m. It's great for all ages. It's a free event, so that's wonderful. Just go out there, check out all of the authors, the books, all of the different activities that are going on. And again, all of the authors will have their books for sale. So it's a great opportunity to maybe check, look at the book a little bit, talk to the authors, find out what the book or books are about. So it's just a great opportunity that you don't have if you're just going into a bookstore or somewhere else to get a book. So again, that's Saturday, July 13th, and definitely be on the lookout and look for Deborah Barber with her book, and that was Legacy.
A different kind of legacy.
A different type of legacy. And also Jason Bradford, he'll be up from the East Valley with his book Solar Ashes, Birth of a Hero.
So, and I'm going to be looking for Deborah too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, look forward to meeting you.
There you go. Well, it is 10:30, and thank you so much, guys, for both coming on this morning, and and for sharing, about being an author, book writing experience, all of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you everyone for listening and watching this morning, and also thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Well, it's time to get back to the music with some David Gray, Temple of the Dog, ZZ Top, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service. All right, well, thank you, Jason.
No, thank you. I appreciate it, Chris. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome, and we'll see you out there at the book festival.
Fantastic. If you stop by, make sure you look for me and my giant alien animatronic. So
I don't think I'll be able to miss it, so that is good. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. All right.
that's true.
Hey, well, thank you. Have a great week, okay, Jason?
Okay, take care. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. See you guys.